Hello there everybody, good evening. 7 o'clock on a Sunday and here we are doing our Sanntangle Flower Quilt. So okay, let's have a quick look at where we're at and what we're going to be doing tonight. Now of course last week I actually showed you how to put the blocks together. So we had a look at doing this and putting our little curls. I've actually done the same with all of the others because I'm doing double the amount. So I've actually changed the fabrics up a little bit. There you go, look. Change the same fabrics but in a different place because I'm actually going to do double the amount. So I can actually now create all my little tangly flowers straight onto the blocks. It just saves me a little bit of time later on. So, okay, I've got a couple of different things lying around. And so far, I've ticked off everything that we've done. And we've gone through quite a few of the flowers. And we're on this bottom row. So after that, we've then got a few on the other side here. Now, there are 21. So if there's one in particular you think, do you know what, that's not for me, then that's absolutely fine. You can pick and choose which suits you. But of course, if you wanted to, you could do them all exactly the same and use one of the flowers if you like. But I know Ruth's here. I've just noticed, I think you're going to be doing some musical instruments on yours because I've seen your fabric earlier, so that'd be fabulous too. It's whatever you want to do with it. It's a nice little quilt and it's got a little bit more detail than the first one we did in terms of, it's almost like a mat and layer, isn't it? So that's our tile. Then we've got our little mat and layers, and then of course our photo corners. And so that's sort of where it started, but you can do whatever you want to do with it. So here we go then, let's make a start. I've got this one very definitely sort of in the center here, or sort of on the corner. And it's quite a large flower. So looking at it, it starts life as a little bubble or a circle. So you can go ahead and use a stencil with that if you want to. But you can also do it freehand, and then of course you can see how it works its way around. So that's definitely the focal feature, isn't it? So let's make a start on that. And I'm going to go freehand with mine. And just in case there's some of you out there that don't have something circular to draw around, let's see how it was done without anything, okay? So, all right then, I'm going to start with my Frixion pen. This just means, you know, I find it tricky because they unscrew. I don't find, because I'm left-handed, they sort of unscrew as I'm going. Okay. So, all right then, I'm going to start, yeah, just as the image suggests, to put it in a corner. Now, you notice I've got different corners, so I've got to make sure that my plane is on the left-hand side. But other than that, I can do whatever I'm going to be doing, okay? So, starting with, it's quite a large bubble, isn't it? So let's come in with this. And of course, I can iron this off afterwards. So I can sketch away to my heart's content, just as though I was using a regular pencil. There we are. Okay, got my bubble. So from there, I'm going to come in with my 03 pen. And let's go a little bit bigger now. You can see what I'm doing there. Okay. So I'm going to start with a wave this way. Okay. Turn it round. And a wave this way. Now, of course, if you're not into your fabrics, you can still do this on paper. Only when I'm using a Frixion pen, obviously you use a pencil. Okay. So now you've got to decide how many you want around the sides. We can split it into two and of quite a wide, or we can, into two, or we can split it into three. So here we go, there's sort of one shape. And then here, look, I can split that into another two, thus giving me three shapes there. Let's do the same here. So there we go. Yeah, that pitter-patter of feet sounds like I've got lots of people and claws walking on my floor. I've only got the two dogs, honestly. Okay, there we go. So let's have a little look at the instructions here. We've done this little bit. So now it says, look, we've got to sort of do these little curves, joining back up again. So here we go. Going to do a curve this way. Now it does also suggest about having an extra little piece in there. So I'm going to do both at once, you see, a little line. But you could do it that way first. See, one of those and then one of those. And work your way around. So I don't really mind, whichever works best for you. And along, you see, just putting that extra line in. And then coming back in. And in. So we've got a little bit of rain and thunder here this evening. It's just as well, it's been a really hot day. The boys are a bit fed up. They got a lot of fur, so they don't particularly like the warm weather. And Seth is supping water for England. Here we go. See, all the way around. If you wanted to change it up a bit, you could actually put a bubble in the middle, I suppose. Now again, the instructions suggest putting some lines on these, but I'm not going to do that. I actually quite like it as is. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then let's bring some leaves in. Now let's have a little look at these. Here we go. So they've got a similar pattern to this flower. You see, you've got these little lines around the edge. So again, you can choose to leave it as a plain leaf, or you can add that extra line. Let's see where we go with this. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my first little stem there. And then in we go there. And then I'm going to come from, now not from the edge of that curve, let's go in a little bit bigger if I can. There we go. It's from that inner section there. See, I'll do it this way, it's a bit clearer. Inner section down and around. Okay. And then same here, down and around. So you can choose to leave it that way, but in the instructions it suggests an extra layer around, so let's do that. Let's taking it to the same point, and then around, and taking it to the same point. And again, I've not put the lines on these little bits here, so I'm not going to put the lines on there. I think I'm going to leave it as that and maybe put some colour in there at some point. So let's do another. Now again, I'm not going to come out here, I'm going to come sort of out here again. It looks a little bit better, I think, if we do that. Not a curve on the top. And then in and around we go. And the same there. Okay. And then again, around and around. Giving you that little leaf shape. Let's have a little look at that. There we go. So I'm gonna add a couple more. I know on the instructions it sort of gives you 2 there, but you can add in as few or as many as you like. Let's do another. And then bring another one up and out here. Now the beauty of having your blocks put together at this point is that you don't have to worry about seam allowance, but of course you've got to be happy with what you draw, because if not you can't really, well you can, but you don't want to be undoing it and going again, do you? So you know, even if you did it all with Frixion pen first and then went over and pen afterwards, whatever you're comfortable with. I just think once the blocks are done, it just sort of seems a little bit quicker once it comes to putting it together at the end. There we are, see. So it's not that far off now, we can start putting them together. I'm going to bring another one out sort of here and make it a little bit longer. Let's extend it round that corner. Okay. So you're going back to the point each time. Yeah. So maybe it's going to put one in there as well. There you go. Same sort of thing. Okay. Now, do I want to go a bit further on? I can do. You know, you've got to actually look at yours and see how you feel about it and put as few or as little in as you want to do. Just take your time with it, you know. No rush. Now I know in quite a few of our little blocks we've added some of these sort of little loops in. So it's just sometimes nice to bring some things in from others, and then it gives it a little bit more of a match up, so to speak. You get a few of those. Let's have a little look at that. Okay, so once this blue line's been ironed away, you're going to have that flower there. It looks a little bit similar, there you go. But I've added a few more leaves and I've took those lines out and just left it plain. So that's our first one. So what else could we do with this particular flower? It is round, but we could perhaps, let's have a look. I'm going to bring in another piece now. What if we did sort of almost a half one? So let's have a look. I'm going to go top corners, I think. Let's put like a quarter piece in there rather than a half, a quarter piece in that corner. And let's do similar in that corner. Yeah. So imagine, and again I'm going to stick with my Frixion pen for now. We've got that line. Remember it did that and then that. So we've got that. Imagine that be part of it. So then all these lines will go the same way. Let's put 2 in there as well. Okay. So I'm going to do the same here, but this time I'm going to do like the sort of the mirror image. So it's going to, you see, it's going inwards. Okay. And then into that one, putting a couple in there. And again, I'm doing this with Frixion pen, so if you're not sure, that's the way to go, because of course you can iron it away afterwards. There you go, all right? So let's put these lines in, because I'm pretty happy with what they're doing there. Remember, these are in my top corners. There you go. Okay, so if I turn that round, let's go in a little bit bigger. So again, just as before, we did this, and then this, and then this. You see? So same thing. It's just a quarter of the size, or the quarter of the piece, really. So it looks like it's going around there. So moving to this one. Similar thing, let's put those lines in. Now we know where they are and we're happy with what we're doing. And again, they're just a guide, so if you don't get it quite on, it's going to rub away when you iron it, so not a problem. All right. So again, this time, see, I'm going to go this way because it's facing in the opposite direction to the other one. Same process though, and again, if you need to use that Frixion pen just to help you out there, you can do. So this one you're going to get part of it, because of course it's sort of falling on, and maybe this one here we're going to get part as well. Let's have a little look at that. There you go. Okay. So now it comes down to the leaves that we've been doing, and this time, see, we can sort of hang them a little bit, so we can maybe wave the stems a little bit so they're slightly shaped. And then same sort of thing with that leaf. So I'm sticking with the design, I'm just changing where I put things. There we go. So the decision's got to be, are you going to go all the way around, or are you going to have them all hanging? Okay, let's hang another one. Let's take it a little bit further down. See, this is something you've got to think about, because it's changing shape slightly. So it needs to know, or you need to know what you're going to do with it. That's why we're doing these videos, so you can make your mind up what you want to do. So I'm going to come around here, but I'm going to make it a bit shorter. Same leaf, follow it round, and another one there. So you know, keeping those really relatively short across the top there, but they're still sort of pointing downwards. Let's do one the other way then, because not all leaves point downwards and go up bank. They're sort of wandering in and out from each other. That's nice. And then I'm going to do another one of those that dangle there. They almost look like little heart shapes now, don't they? You say that, I've been drawing hearts and things this weekend. Because of course it's Christmas in July on Sewing Street, so I've been doing a few Christmas bits and pieces ready for that show. So lots to do, as always. So I don't know if you're into I've not gone completely all out Christmas fabrics, if I'm honest. I've gone a little bit more, I don't know, maybe a little more contemporary. I've gone a bit Scandi theme and used red, cream and grey for the Christmas quilt. So I'm just putting the binding around that now. And that'll almost be ready. So there we are. See, now there's quite long here. I don't really want to worry about making it exactly the same. But you see, I've got sort of two here, and naturally occurring things. So I'm going to do one here, but I'm going to sort of have it at a different level. So I don't want to try and make it the same, because they're not going to be. Oh, Sue, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Put on your binder. That's it. That's quite a nice one, and it flows, doesn't it? It flows real nice. And these leaves you could have all over the place and do different things with. So let's put a few up here. When you think we've done exactly the same thing here as we did on the last one, we've just changed where we put things a little bit. It does take on a different way, doesn't it? There we go. I wonder if I could actually get my husband to iron this one off whilst we're drawing the next one. I'm sure we can plug the iron in so we can just see it without the blue. I wonder if I can get him to take his earplugs out. Oh, maybe I've got his attention. Oh, let's put a few there. John, I wonder if you could do something for me.
No comment.
I've got my Frixion pen on these, and it'd be nice to actually remove it with the iron so we could see what they look like, if you would be so kind.
So would you like me to put a bit of the iron on?
Yes, please. There we go. Got some of those little shapes there.
So you want to do it?
Yes, please. If you could just iron over them, it'll disappear.
Yeah, sure.
I did, Chris. There you go. So there's one, there's the other. Look at how different they are. Same design, but different. Okay, so I'm going to pass these over to John. Thank you, John. And we can tick this one off now. We've done this one. Woohoo! So then we come to this next one here. It's quite a sort of a stylistic kind of a rose and a very sort of detailed leaf there. So let's see what we can do with this one, shall we? So I'm going to come back to my quilt block. This is not my original one. I say exactly the same, but I've just put the fabrics in different places. Just going to break it up a little bit, isn't it? Okay. Oh, Jane says hello, John.
Hi.
He says hello. I know, I've always got him doing something, haven't I? Right, okay, here we go. Looking at the instructions. So we start as a little swirl, and then it gets a little bit of an oar around it. Oh, I've just done another one. And then we get extra petals as we work around. Thank you, John. So I'm going to start, let's say in the middle, sort of in the middle. And I'm going to put a little swirl in. Okay, let's go a bit bigger. A little swirl, and you see it's got a little bit of a kink in there. So then let's do that aura. An aura is just where we draw a line around the shape we've already got. Here we go. One aura. Okay. So then I'm going to do another. So another sort of a line, almost like petal-like really. And then aura around that. They're like little part bubbles really, aren't they? Oh, let's do another one. And then same again, like repeating the same steps. And then this time, so I'm not going from the bottom, I'm going from that last sort of petal. So they look like they're going underneath each other. And I'm going to continue sort of doing that around until I've got the sort of size that I'm happy with. I mean, I could do this completely, fill the space and not worry about the leaves at all. But I didn't want to. I could just do this. And just sort of keep it going until you're happy with the size, really. There we are. You see, it grows really quickly. So these are not something that's going to take you, an hour like our regular tiles. You can take a little bit longer colouring it, of course. That's something I've not done at the minute. I've not really coloured in all of my pieces. Might sort of do that when I've drawn them all. Okay, so you're getting to the point you think, do you know what, I've probably got enough there. Let's have a little look at that. Hang on a second, see if I can go out a bit. Okay, maybe I go a bit bigger. And it's up to you, isn't it? It's just one option. They're just really nice to do, and you can get really carried away. So just make sure you keep stopping and looking at your piece, because otherwise you're going to end up with it overgrown. If you want to keep it quite contained, it just sort of have a little bit of a mind of its own. So I'm just having a look now. I think I'm going to put another one that side so I can switch it about a little bit. Maybe one there, see. And one sort of thinking about there, like that. Okay. Oh, Letitia, thank you. I don't think John always thinks that. No, not this last couple of days. We've been having a little bit of fun with the Moxie. Bearing in mind, I've not had it long, and I wanted to do the Christmas quilt on it. And yeah, I've had some fun and games with it. Okay, little line coming out. I'm going to do one of those leaves. So here we go. Start at the top, and I'm going to create a little loop. Not too big. There you go. And then either side, I'm going to do a little loop. Now you see, it looks like a little bow. Again, not too big. It does look pine cone-like, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to do another loop, but this time it's going to get just a little bit bigger. Okay. And then each time it's going to get a little bit bigger. You see? I turn around a little bit there. So each time a little bit bigger. There you go. And until I sort of get to the bottom there. There it is. So you've got these lovely little loops. Yeah. What we haven't done in the flower, if you have a look here, is there's some little lines. You can put those in if you like, but I'm gonna leave them out. I'm gonna leave them as it is. And you've got two leaves on the instructions, and they're going in opposite ways, but I'm gonna go with what I feel. I'm gonna put another one down here. And then in we go, and one either side. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around so it suits me better. So then we continue. Now you see why I said start small, because if you started a little bit bigger, your leaves are going to be huge. And we've only got a small sort of space to work in, haven't we? So let's just move out a little bit and see that. Okay, so we've got a couple. I'm going to put another one this side. Remembering I've cut my sizes there on my triangles, so this one's on the left, so this will actually be the right way around, unless I did it that way. But I couldn't do it that way, because I've got to make sure that mine on the left. That's just because I've decided to do 2 different colour triangles. You don't have to. Just something to be aware of, isn't it? If you're going to do that, you want your triangles to sort of be on the same sides. Unless you want to be completely random. And if I know some of you that well, you're not into your random. So. Okay. All right. So there's that one. I think what we could do as well, we could bring out sort of little ones and put a little dot on the top, a little bobble on the top, and one on both sides. You see, just a few of those. Sometimes it just needs a little bit more, doesn't it? And rather than doing loads more leaves, we can sort of change or take an aspect of what's already there and add a few of those little shapes in. There you are. Just keep them small. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So there's that one. So if I bring in my other piece, and let's see what else we can do with this. So of course I've not put my corners on yet, so it doesn't matter so much as to which way round I go with it. But of course we've still got that lovely shape in the middle. And again, thinking flowers, so what do we do with this one? I think maybe more of I don't know, maybe a bunch, but we've done bunches in the middle before. What if we were to do, say, let's go sort of a part bubble stroke rainbow shape maybe, and then let's have something sort of like I don't know, that with the stems like so, and then we could have a leaf coming out either side. See, I'm planning it out with that Frixion pen because I know it irons away, so we can do that. So all right, where we're going to sort of start this, because if we want to keep that sort of shape, let's put in a bubble to sort of help us out where those flowers are going to be. Look like little lollipops now, don't they? There we go. All right, so here we go again. We'll start with this middle one and put that curve in. There you go. And then as before, we're going to follow the process around there. And then little bubble and along. And I'm going to keep it going. But this time I'm going to rely on the constraints of that blue line to keep me a little bit smaller. So if you think that you're going to get a bit carried away doing that, and giving yourself a constraint's going to help out. Well, it doesn't have to be a perfectly round shape, it just needs to be something that's going to stop you getting carried away with it. You see, I've got another one there, look. I could put one there, see, so I'm sort of filling that shape in. There we go. And same on this side, so I'm going to turn it so it's sort of in line with me vertically. Doesn't have to be, I just like to draw that way. And then again, I'm going to follow it round, putting these little shapes in place. So are we going to the Festival of Quilts this year? It's August, isn't it, at the NEC? I know Leslie and I have booked to go on Saturday. So we've booked into a couple of classes. So if you're going to be there, we'll be there too. I've actually, the very first quilt we did, you know, the one where we used the Dan Morris fabrics and the orange and coloured it in. I've actually, I'm going to be sending that off tomorrow. I've entered it into the novice section. Not in the hopes of winning anything, but because they say they try and hang every quilt. So I'm hoping, if that's sort of true, that they'll hang the quilt if that's the case, that'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? Imagine putting that on the wall at Festival of Quilts. That'd be amazing. So, oh, thank you, Chris. But honestly, I just want them to hang it, you know, so we can go there and we can actually see it, and other people can see that you can do other things with quilts if you want to, and you can bring your drawing in with it. It'd be nice, but I don't know. They say they try to. They might look at it and think, no, we'll not bother. So we'll see. Okay. Into there. Oh, Chris, I know you did really well. Your quilt's famous now. It's been in a show. Wow. I think Leslie and I are going to do one together. And have it in the... Because there's a category where you can have two people working on a quilt. And we thought of doing something like yin yang, where Leslie controls and does one part of the quilt and I do the other. And then apart from a little bit of initial planning so it'll fit together, for us to actually not see anything that any of us are doing and then put it together, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? I think we're going to do that. It's a bit of a plan. You always have to have a plan, don't you? Because, it's our interest as well as our job, so we love to do it. And sometimes it would be nice to do something a little bit different, wouldn't it? There you go. Okay, so obviously I've thickened up those stems a little bit. And now I've got these two lines here where I sort of suggested the leaves. So let's put that one in. I'm going to put that one in at the same time. Okay. And then a little bobble. I'm going to do the same at the top there, just so I've sort of got the same size-ish. There you go. And then work our way down to that one. And that one. There we go. Now you see, if some of them end up underneath each other because they're quite close, that's absolutely fine. They don't have to all be completely spaced out. You can see here that where it's going to start going underneath that stem there. Again, that's fine, but if you're not sure where you think it's going to come out, you can again use that Frixion pen and draw the whole thing in, and then of course iron it away. I think they're brilliant. There you go. So same thing this side then. And little bows on either side, aren't they? Just each one getting a little bit thicker than the other. Working it round. There you go. And coming around. See, it's getting a bit bigger. There it is. You see, it's sort of taking on a little bit of a shape this time as well, isn't it? Because we've got that slight curved stem there. There it is. So it needs something at the bottom here to bring it together. So if all else fails, bubbles. So let's add some bubbles in there. See, sort of working their way round. Bubbles working their way around. There you go. See, just sort of off they go. And let's have one here too. Okay. And along we go. So there is one. But looking back at this one, you see here we added these extra little bits in, these little sort of flourishes. Let's do the same. Add a couple of those in. Just brings the two pieces together then. It gives it a little bit of consistency. See, I can go over that one, look. Add them in there. Just changes it up a little bit. So that'll go behind. And again. Now, I don't know if you know that Derwenter brought out 28 new colours for their Inktense pencils. I I brought them the other day. I've not actually tried them yet. They're nice colours. But I don't know if you wanted a bit of a change or you felt like adding to your collection. They were on Cult Pens. I don't know, because Leslie told me so. Yeah, there we go. So let's have a little look at this then. So of course that will iron away. And if I just go out a little bit. So we've got this one, but then this one here, let's just do that with it. Exactly the same flower, but a completely different design. Yeah, same flower, different design each time. So then if I move those out of the way a minute and come back to the original of this one, here we go, that's the one we did first. And then looking back at this one, again, same flower, same leaves, but just doing it in a different way. So if you have a look at the instructions, I'm going to tick that one off. Don't just sort of look at it and think, oh, that's it, I've got to do this and copy. Not at all. This is, sorry, Chris. This is literally just a bit of a guide, a bit of a hand to show you. Actually, Chris, speaking of tempting, would you like to see a little bit of the new Christmas quilt? If I can tempt my husband. He's rolling his eyes. Could you just pass me that quilt, please, John? Could you just pass me that quilt?
Yeah.
I'm still working on the binding. It's nearly done. But yeah, speaking of nearly done, so is this. So we've got these two. So we've probably got maybe 2 more sessions, actually, with this. Thank you, husband. Okay, so yeah, so we've been going, I've been going a little bit, as I said, a little bit Scandi with it. So I've got a bit of red and a little bit of the grey. So I've got the same fabrics. I've actually got, I think, 6 different fabrics. I've got 5 of the red, 5 of the grey that match, and they're fat quarters. This one, I brought a fat quarter of it specially, and then look, we're actually doing Scandi hearts in there. So it's quite a nice one. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on it as well. If I can show you, look, this one. There you go. So this is a little bit of a hint of the new one. I say not completely done yet. Needs a good iron, and of course it's still got a little bit of the binding to be done. But Benji's already trying to claim it. So I've got dog fur all over it already. But yeah. So okay. Speaking of quilts on this one, here we go. So all we've got to do now, as I say, if you've not stitched these together yet, what I suggest you do is draw it and then actually make the blocks up, because it's going to take you what, 20 minutes, half an hour to actually do one, and then at the end of it you've got all of your little blocks made up and you've just got to stitch them together. Because if not, and you've got just these pieces on their own, you've then got to stitch all of this and then stitch it together, and it just is going to feel a little bit like hard work. So start doing that, I would suggest, and just to get you going, so you've got something prepped. So you can see here, look, these are all my red ones. So I know some of them I've got to colour in, but you see they're all there, and I'm not losing anything. I've not got bits lying around. Well, I've got bits lying around all over the table. Well, that's another story. But you see, I've got the plain ones. They're ready to go. And I've got exactly the same going on with my other colour. But of course, I'm doing double the amount, and you're doing 20. So I'm going to be doing 40 and creating a bigger quilt. So entirely up to you, but that would be my advice. And I am going to get them all coloured all at the same time, I think. It's going to be a little bit more efficient in terms of my time there, so I can do that, get my pencils out and go for it. So okay, that's the 2 for today. I say another couple of sessions probably, and we'll get all these flowers done, and then it's a case of getting it put together. So okay, I'm going to leave you with that. Next week I'm still going to aim to do a session at 7 o'clock, but as you know, I'm at Doncaster at the craft fair on Saturday and Sunday, so assuming I'm back in time, I will do. But if I find that it's running a bit late and I can't, because obviously we've got to pack everything down, I shall probably move it to Monday evening, if that's okay. No, I can't do Monday evening. Oh goodness me, it's so busy because I'm on Hobby Maker. Okay, if I don't do it for Sunday, I shall move it to another day in the week, but I'll let you know, and of course Chris will post it, just to sort of give you a heads up there. But I will aim to do it on the Sunday, and I'll let you know, okay? So, okay, have a lovely week, everybody. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday evening. And if you're doing your tiles, see you Tuesday. If not, I'll see you back here next week for this, okay? Have fun then, everybody. Okay, take care. Bye.